What's up, guys? Taylor here. This is our first podcast. We call it like the GAC podcast, say it like that. Today we got a special guest, Yerro Gassama, well known as manager here at the Glendon Athletic Club, but also Muay Thai champion. Please present yourself, please.
Thank you. Thanks for that intro. First guest, all right. I'm honored. How's everybody doing? Yeah, my name is Yerro, manager of athletic programs over here at the GAC. And yeah, Muay Thai fighter for the last couple years at least. So just came off of a battle this past weekend. So yeah, pretty active right now.
I know Yerro's a bit too humble to say it, but Yerro's actually came out, he's a champion now. He has his own belt and all. Y'all can check him on his Instagram. Y'all see his fight and all. Please tell me how went the fight. How did it go?
Yeah, honestly, it was great. This was my third fight this year. So I think the momentum and the dynamics was there. The first couple fights you kind of still rusty a little bit, getting the year going. But this one I felt really good in the ring. Felt sharp. Got a knockdown and then what I thought was a knockout as well, but he recovered. So ended up winning by unanimous decision, and that was for the Bushido belt out in Kentville, near Ottawa. So shout out to those guys at Boss Thai Boxing for putting it together.
Nice,
sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me, how long have you been doing Muay Thai for?
Competing Muay Thai is probably about four years,
wow.
And then before that I was doing kickboxing. Had my first 2 fights through kickboxing, and then as a kid just karate and street fights, I guess.
Yeah? Street fight guy. Watch out, hey. Watch out. Any guys want to touch? Watch out. Watch out. If you're trying to rob the GAC, don't. Because now we got a champion right now. Watch out.
Yeah.
And how was that transition between kickboxing and Muay Thai? What made you want to go to Muay Thai? Is it the culture?
Right.
What is it?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. A lot of people don't know the difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai. I think for me, when I started with kickboxing, it was kind of what was available. And then as I got into the history of it a little bit, I found out, Muay Thai has been around for a long time. It's in its original form, it was really a martial art, as in for military use. So the King's Guard and people like that back in Siam, old school Thailand, would use it. So really started off as a deadly weapon and then became more of a sport kind of in the recent century or so, but it retains a lot of cultural and spiritual elements that are really rooted in Thai culture and very profound, a lot of meaning. So after doing kickboxing for a little bit, I was really fascinated by the history and having it be a little bit more than just about punching and kicking. I think that was the biggest part of it, where because I think we are all born kicking and screaming. Some of us just never stop. But finding a way to channel that into something purposeful and meaningful was kind of important for me. So it became not just a fitness thing, not just a fighting thing, but really a life thing.
That's pretty deep.
That was the big reason, and the people, everything around it. So yeah, I think there's just a lot more in there. With kickboxing, it's basically just boxing with some kicks. So you have less weapons, less tools that you can use. So yeah, I wanted something a little bit deeper than that. Yeah.
I feel like there's also different style, right? Can you give an elbow during kickboxing?
When I was doing it, no elbows, no clinching, which is kind of like that wrestling style.
Yeah.
So a little bit less in the arsenal for sure. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Thailand?
Not yet. That's
I see all these guys. They go to Thailand and then for like 2-3 years, and then they come back. They're beasts.
That's right. I know a couple of my guys at our gym, TKMT, it's Toronto Kickboxing, and Muay Thai. The goal is to really be able to go, but for me right now, working full time and
of course
everything else, everybody's getting married now. So all my friends, all my trips, honestly, are wedding related. So either I'm traveling for fighting or for that. But I want to be able to go for like a good amount of time.
For sure,
like at least 3 weeks or more. So a lot of the guys will save up, go train for a couple of weeks or even months, and then come back beastly. So I'm hoping to do one soon. Our team does like a regular trip, so just want to backpack on one of those. That's the ultimate goal for this.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen because I'm very fascinated about fighting in general, and I see all these Muay Thai guys they run for miles, then they go to the gym right after, hit the bag, the floor is sweaty, everything is wet. They're like, there's some of them, they pass out. What's that mindset for you? Is that something you want to do? Is something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I think that's the full immersion of it, right? So if you want to get, you want to push yourself to the maximum, and that's something that is very much rooted into the training philosophy and the culture. Is go beyond your limits. Don't be too comfortable. So yeah, you definitely hear about those stories. You know, coaches trying to get guys to, you know, puke on the floor.
Exactly.
And, that's part of it. So yeah, I mean, I like pushing myself. I don't enjoy being comfortable for too long. You know, I think I need some of that push. So that's something that I can see. Obviously, you know, you have to be smart with your training and all of that, 100%. But yeah, that's the full immersion. That's the full experience.
That's the objective. So now that you've trained, you know how to train for a fight, is there anything you think that you should do better, or something that you feel like you should work on more? Like, what's the real challenge in getting trained for a fight, and then obviously before the fight and during the fight?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think there's always something that you're working on. There's always something to improve. I think the moment you get to the point where you don't have any room for improvement, you should probably quit and retire, because you're probably not in it, honestly, at that point. So yeah, there's always something that we pick on as soon as during the camp itself, when you're kind of preparing for that fight. There's things that you're working on, things that you try to apply in the fight, and then post-fight as well. You know, as soon as the fight is over, the brain already goes into like work mode. You know, we were standing on the ring when they're announcing the winner, and you know, my coach is talking to me about, you know, you got to do this a little bit more next time, like set up your strikes, these kind of strikes. So I'm not going to give away everything, because my opponents might be watching this, so I don't want to give them too much insight into into some of the back end. But there's always something to work on, whether it's you know, in how you prepare. That's in the preparation phase. Maybe the way you do your camp, the way you do your nutrition, your conditioning, that piece of it. There's a strategy side, like how you're going to approach the fight itself, and then maybe a technical side, like how to set up a specific weapon or situation. So yeah, there's always something in those three things that you can work on.
I'm always curious about the mindset, right? Because you got to be different to be able to want to fight someone, right? Like I, for example, did 2 amateur fight in boxing.
Yeah, boxing guy, right?
And it's the most, for example, it's the most scariest thing ever. Like from the preparation of just being able to go into the ring and seeing your opponent, maybe bigger or smaller or whatever, you don't even know the person. And then fighting that person. What's your mentality like? What pushed you to be able to, like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna fight that guy and I'm gonna, you know, kick his butt?
That's a really interesting question. I think, to your point, I mean, I don't think anybody is normal, just to begin with, but there is a specific mindset that goes with fighters. And there's a lot of myths, I think, about fighters as well. One of my teammates just put out this post, 5 myths about fighters. Highly recommend everybody check her out, Sam Skinner. But the idea is, you know, one of the things is about, you know, fighters, you know, being either just aggressive people generally in nature, or, you know, people who don't think too much, or those kind of stereotypes, which is true for like street fighting, for example. But when it's an art like this, there's a lot of discipline and also art at the same time. So there's the science, and then there's the creative art side to it. So I find with fighters, there's different ways. When I started competing, it just happened naturally. I was training, and the opportunity came up. My coach said, "Do you want to compete?" This was when I was first doing karate, so that was the first taste I had of it. And you know, some people will train for a long time and never compete, and that's totally fine, because it's about the goal that you have.
For sure.
So I think for some of us, the idea is how much can you push yourself, and you know, hitting a bag is great, but the bag's not going to hit back.
Exactly.
So it's hard to gauge, you know, at what level you're really at. So you know, that competition, that test, I think gives you an idea of where you are in the pool of people within your, you know, your group, which is weight class and experience class. So it's pushing yourself on one hand to find out how good you are. Two, you know, when you get that first demo or first fight experience, that adrenaline, that rush, it could be a lot for some people, and for others, I think you kind of crave and get addicted to it in some ways or another.
Is that your case?
I'd say I definitely crave it. Like I wouldn't say I'm addicted to it because I know adrenaline junkies and I don't really
Yeah.
feel like I'm on their level.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fight every day, for example. You know, we fight a couple of times a year, if that. But that feeling is not something that you run away from.
100%.
It's something that you kind of run towards. So that's what kind of separates somebody who wants to compete versus somebody who wants to train. Is they enjoy that environment. You know, you're in the crowd, everybody's yelling, it's loud, your heart rate is pumping. So I think some of us kind of lean towards that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. And then, so the mindset you have before the fight, what is the difference when you're before the fights, you're in the mindset, and what
Yeah.
is the mindset after the fight? Because as you said, you have your whole life, right?
Yeah.
You're a manager here,
Right.
and at the same time, you're a fighter. How can you balance those two?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a big part of why I'm doing this is to be able to show that you know you can pursue multiple things. So it's the idea of how do you manage your time and your energy, and to your point, it's how do you switch between the modes because you know you can't be super distracted and productive. It's very hard to do that. So you know when I'm at work, it's you know there's to some extent you're going to shut off kind of some of that fighting. Want to make sure I'm sleeping right so that I have enough energy to be able to show up,
Very important.
work the full day. But then when you know it's time to transition into training, you try to get rid of all distractions and get into flow. So it's about flow. It's really about flow. If you can get into the flow state, then it's easy for your mind to kind of switch between tasks. But it's very energy consuming to
sure.
be able to do that. So the recovery is huge. And now as I'm kind of getting older, that's a much more important part. You know, when I was 18, you can recover probably the next day, whereas now it takes me a little longer. So recovery is something that I've had to build in a little bit more into my lifestyle, whether that's recovering throughout the day, taking breaks at night, going to bed early, doing active recovery drills. But yeah, you kind of turn your mind based on where you are. So the environment is kind of key. That's why I like working in person as opposed to working from home or something like that, because I go into the place and that helps me trigger into a different state. And then afterwards, it's about you know calming your mind. You know, after you're trained or fought.
Some people can't do that.
Yeah, it's you're so highly tuned into that frequency. So how do you reduce it? And it's like calming yourself down, stretching, relaxing, drinking some water. And then for me, it's the idea of the uniform as well. So whatever I'm wearing, it kind of helps my brain know what we're doing.
Makes
You know,
sense.
so when I'm wearing work clothes, I'm in that work mode. When I'm wearing training clothes, I'm in that mode. When I'm wearing home clothes, I'm in that mode.
Okay.
So I try to have different almost uniforms for different you know times of the day.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you say obviously you set yourself goals, you put
Yep.
yourself in a discipline kind of zone, but you're not by yourself, right? You got a whole team.
For sure.
So tell me, what's your team like?
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part about this sport is I grew up in team sports, so kind of being in a team environment has been you know big for me. Like you know having teammates and coaches and mentors and things like that. So right now with this sport, you're in a team, but you're also by yourself. So it's like you're by yourself, but you're not alone. So you know whether it's just people in the gym feeding you energy by being around there, your sparring partners, which is a massive part of the physical preparation and the mental preparation, and then beyond that you have your coaches or your crew, as we call them in Muay Thai, which are your teachers. And I'm pretty blessed to have a few of those people that can play that role. You know, we have a few locations, so I can take advantage of kind of different coaches.
Nice.
I have my main kind of manager who manages our facility, who was my first coach, who kind of helps me with setting up, deciding the pathway.
Yeah.
Like this is the next fight, this is the schedule, this is what you're doing. And then I have the coaches that I work with on a day-to-day basis. So you know, one of my first crews that I started working with, Chris, he's like my technical kind of coach. He was the one when I was starting up as a C-class early fighter, you know, kind of hone in on technique. And you know, he's like, I call him the dance master in a way, where you know he's always talking about movement and some of those basic things. One of my other coaches, Crew Tolga, the Turkish menace.
Turkish
Yeah,
menace.
yeah. Love this guy to bits, and you know his training is all about strategy and kind of at the high level. How do you apply that aggression, right? So you talked about mindset. that aggression mindset. How do you dial it up and down as needed, so that you don't act like a crazy person, as he says, but also that you're moving forward and you're going for your goals. And these apply to life as well. So I find what you learn from sports, martial arts, are so directly applicable to life that you can kind of pull those philosophies. And one of my other coaches I'm working with now at this higher level, Crew Ruben, has been fantastic in energy management.
Got it.
You know, how do you push yourself beyond your comfort zone? How do you push the gas tank? So one of his things is train hard so you fight easy. So they all work together in the symphony, almost orchestra, to bring about the best out of me. So you learn a little bit from everybody. Everybody gives you a piece of the puzzle, and then it's like, how do I take what they're teaching me and apply it to who I am and my style? That's really the beautiful thing about it. So it's like a big tribe. You know, as I say in Africa, or as they say in Africa, it takes a village. So everybody kind of has a role.
So this fighting thing is not just fight, right? It's not you just punching and then call it a day.
Yeah, right.
You have a whole IQ mindset into that, where you have to
say
think
so,
of
yeah.
exactly what you got to do.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like one of those Bruce Lee kind of moments and quotes where, you know, before you start fighting, a punch is just a punch,
Exactly.
a kick is just a kick, and then you get into it and you realize, well, a punch is not just a punch, a kick is not just a kick,
No.
and then you get to the other side of it and you're like, a punch is just a punch, a kick is just a kick. So there's a whole journey, honestly, that you go through, but it's beautiful. So obviously as an ambassador to the sport, I want people to look at these kind of activities, and it doesn't really matter which one personally you get into, right? There's so many arts and sports that people can get into, but they really help you manage your energy and kind of your philosophy.
So now that Mr. Yerro is a champion at your weight class, what's next? Are we trying to go to another weight class? Are we trying to move up, move down, move up? Are we trying to go somewhere else? What's the move?
Well, the move is pretty much whatever my coach tells me.
Okay.
But we have an idea of what we want to do. I think weight class wise, I'm pretty happy at the range that I found. You know, these two weight classes. It's in kilograms, 63.5 and 60. So this last fight was at 60 kg. So those two weight classes I find pretty good. So I've dropped over the years down to get to this weight class. So I'm pretty happy here. There's a lot of challenge still, a lot of competition that I can face. We have the Canadian tournament coming up in August in Kitchener, Canadian Muay Thai Open. So there's already kind of the next step planned. So at this point, it's just push to the max, pedal to the metal. Let's get as much as we can.
All right, love that. No, I love that. And so the sport obviously keeps on growing. I'm guessing Muay Thai, there's a whole bunch of new stuff that you're learning.
Yes.
How do you find the new generation? Because, you know, there's a whole bunch of 20-year-olds my age that want to fight also. Do you feel like it's getting better? Do you feel like the kids are actually like getting way harder to fight against? What's
Definitely, yeah. I'm 32, so I'm more on. I'm kind of up there. You know, I'm fighting a lot of young guys.
I won't say up there, but sure. Yeah,
I'll take it. Thank you. But yeah, no, I think it's growing in a way that's really, really cool, which makes me want to be part of it. You're getting a lot of young guys and girls coming up from everywhere in the city and the province, but also in our gym we have so many up and coming fighters, and they're starting early. They already have the discipline, so it's amazing to see the potential that somebody has. Obviously, there's only so much you can do to help them activate that, but whatever role we can all play to help the up and coming youth is going to be key. But it's very exciting to see kind of the growth potential. So. I'm seeing myself more into the coaching side of things, so this is a big part for me to see.
Sensei Yerro coming up soon.
Different sport, but as much as I can, I want to be involved in the growth of the sport. Muay Thai wasn't even legal 20 years ago. So to get to the status that we're at now as a provincially recognized amateur sport, we want to see if we can push that into the professional category next, and the youth will have a major part in playing in that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for being such a great manager.
Appreciate you.
Great person.
Great job.
And hopefully you win your next fights.
Appreciate it.
Good luck on training, because I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best.
You too.
Right.
You too. Keep doing your stuff.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.